Welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond, Surviving and Thriving. My name is Andrew Murata, host of the program, and happy to be on with you. Happy we got through the technological issues, and happy to see my friend Eric Nichols dancing on the other side of the screen to the music way out in Oregon. We are going to meet today's guest here in a moment, Eric Nichols. He is a Oregon school principal. He is involved with the Rural Oregon Principals Association out there, and we're going to meet Eric in a minute, and I thank him for his patience. We had some tech issues here, but we are live on Facebook. Happy to be a member of the Education Podcast Network, as well as Voice Ed Radio Canada. Super happy with them, and happy to be on. So if you're watching live, leave us a comment, leave us a question, and get involved in the podcast. I would like to thank today's sponsor of the podcast, And Collar. I'm wearing my school gear today. I got my school or my tie on, and they're both And Collar gear. It's great school wear. It's waterproof. It's sweat proof, and they feel good. You know, it's flexible. I put my school logo on here, so I'm going to bring some And Collar with me to the Oregon meeting there. But I do want to thank them for a sponsor. If you're interested in checking them out, use code Murata10 for your discount, and it's great stuff. So it's And Collar. I appreciate them sponsoring the program. Let's get started. Show number 180. Again, if you're watching live, I would love for you to jump in the program. The opening concept today is about connecting, right? I am very excited to be going out to the conference coming up this next weekend, and it's the Rural Principals Conference in Oregon. And what does a guy from Staten Island, an Italian New Yorker, have to do with rural principals? What do we have in common? Well, we have a lot in common, right? It might be a different school setting, but kids are kids, relationships are relationships, teachers are teachers, and leadership is leadership, and it transcends, right? Things that I do successfully as a leader can help me, and those things are going to help other leaders, and I'm going to learn from them too. We have so many of those things in common, regardless of the school setting. Is transportation different? Is the school culture different? Sure. But we as school leaders can find common ground, and that's my goal, is to build connections with them and make those relationships. And I look at it, right? We might be different. We might be from different backgrounds, but we can still add to each other's lives. We can still take in the content. We can take in the culture. We can take in what the other person is given. I'm looking forward to meeting Jill Siller. She is another guest going to be there. I'm looking forward to learning from Eric and what he's done out there. And speaking of Eric, let's bring him in the program. He's been patiently waiting on the other end here, and happy we're able to connect. Here is Eric Nichols from the office in Oregon. Eric, welcome to the program.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm glad we were able to make this work, and happy to have you on.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. How many meetings like these have we done, like Zoom and Google Meets and all that? And so shake a hand, we're in it. I'm happy to see you face to face here shortly, so it'll be good.
Cool. And we're going to be in person. Eric, you are organizing Wide Open Spaces, Bend, Oregon. We have 40, 50 people coming from around the state. What are you hoping to get out of this conference? Tell us a little bit about what it's all about.
So this is round 3. We had a little gap here due to, I don't know, we had something happen here. I can't remember what it was, pandemic. Anyway, so hey, that said, we've had a couple get-togethers, and the point was rural school leaders. Whether you're a superintendent, which in many cases in Oregon, you're both, right? You're the superintendent principal, or you might be the head teacher. You might be the only teacher, right? In Harney County, where I'm at, we've got a lot of one-room schoolhouses. Think about Little House on the Prairie. That's kind of the concept, that K-8 model. In this building right here where I'm at, we have a dormitory. Our school district is 10,000 square miles. Wow. It's bigger than 7 states. So kids are coming in from all over, and they stay in our dormitory Sunday night through Thursday night. If they're in athletics, they might stay some of those weekend nights as well. And so we're out here on an island, right? Yes, we have this internet thing. Yes, we have the phone. But like it's not the same. It's not the same as being in person. It's not the same as being able to go across the hall to your colleague in your PLC, et cetera. So the idea behind wide open spaces, right? These vast school districts, these rural islands, if you will, is to get together and create some relationships, create some networks, because like there's so much turnover in education, especially in leadership right now. What's the average tenure of a superintendent right now? 2.7 years, 3 years. Principals kind of on that same cycle. So creating some of those relationships and those support networks. So that's our goal here with Wide Open Spaces is this. Being able to have somebody that you can call when the times are tough, been able to share some ideas, bang some ideas off each other. Let me give you an example. My very first day with kids in the building, I got to school super, super early, and we found a gun clip underneath a tree on campus. And it was like, what? I can't write this stuff, right? So I didn't want to seem inept. I didn't want to seem like a dorky first-year principal. And I didn't want to call my superintendent and be like, what do I do? What do I do? So kind of went through those things. And so I called my high school principal, the principal whose office I sat in, because I was never in trouble. But anyway, so I called him, and he kind of walked me through his suggested steps. Once I got that plan, once I calmed down, whatever, I then called my boss and let her know, like, hey, here's the steps I've taken. And of course, again, it was like 4:30 in the morning because I was super excited for day one. But we made it happen. We did the right things. And it was because I had that network, because I had those relationships. So that's what we're trying to do is create those situations where folks can get together and talk shop.
Yeah. And we have, we have a schedule and a plan, but there's also some downtime where we can build those relationships. And I get a chance to learn from some of those principles as well. Eric, tell us about you. Tell us about your role. You're a principal here. You have a big family. But tell me about your leadership journey to becoming a principal and what you're currently doing now.
So I grew up in a town of about 10,000, and I always enjoyed education. I was that guy that spent some time at school, right? I was the guy who got to school at 6 a.m. And I did leadership, and I did all the sports. Well, I just loved school, and I didn't get home till 7, 8 o'clock sometimes. I lived about 400 yards from school.
Wow.
And so that's where I spent my time. That's where that was the hub of the community, right? And so, I was there shooting hoops, or I was there helping out in the yearbook, or I was there pestering the language arts teacher, whatever that was. I grew up at school. When I went to college, my goal, I went to Boise State, go Broncos. Big blue, right? Big blue turf. But hey, I was going to go do something else, right? I was going to be a sports broadcaster, me and Al Michaels or Bob Costas, whatever it was, right? John Madden. And I found out there wasn't too many of those jobs. And so I fell in love with coaching first, which is just teaching, just happen to might be, on a basketball court or an athletic arena, whatever that is. And then started going that route as well. And fell in love with teaching and fell in love with education. I spent so much time in it that my life has been operating on bells for a long time.
Yeah.
So kind of went that route, and I married a gal here in Eastern Oregon. So from Boise to Eastern Oregon, here I am. And I was doing basketball camp one summer after 7 years teaching here in Oregon, and the superintendent came and visited me, brand new superintendent. She goes, hey, I'd like you to apply for this job. And so had a great conversation in my shorts and t-shirt, was kind of my interview that day. And she called me and said, hey, you didn't get that job, but I hired you, or I would like to hire you for the middle school principal job. This is 4 days before school was to start.
Oh my goodness.
So I took the job, and there I went, and went from there. And I've done various roles here in rural Eastern Oregon. I've done the middle school principal job, tech director, curriculum director, federal program, all that stuff, right? And then I went to supporting those one-room schoolhouses I talked about at an education service district here. I also then took on a virtual school principal, which is statewide, so that keeps me busy. I'm still doing that. And then I'm doing this dormitory principal job right here, right now. And you know what? I've mowed lawns for schools. I've done the janitorial work like we all do, right? I've done federal programs. That's what you do in rural education. You kind of do it all. You fill the gaps. So that's what I'm doing now. And now I'm trying to reach out and support with my experiences and get people together and making it so we can all communicate and have that support that we all need.
Nice. And you're looking to support, you're looking to have some professional development for these leaders, Eric, and you're in charge of this conference, right? And it's been great to work with you planning it. Tell me about PD, right? PD gets a knock. People think, it's bad. What type of PD are you looking for to support these leaders, bringing them together?
I kind of started first with teaching practices when we really started with professional development and really leaned on the works of Anita Archer, Kevin Feldman, just kind of in classroom teaching practices. I carried that over in my staff meetings and kind of led a lot of those conversations and, think, pair, share, and just some of those tactics, partnering tactics, and just good teaching stuff that we need to be doing. And so then we really got into ed tech. But did it with pedagogy, right? Like, how can this add to your classroom, add to those practices? We had a lot of conversations around just equitable practices and getting kids involved in our classroom via engagement, engaging our community, engaging our kids, engaging our parents, and kind of have been down those things. But I'll tell you what, it's not cliche because it's just flat true. Relationships matter. And right now, that's really what I'm focusing on is relationships. Again, we had this thing, I don't know, pandemic or something, where it's caused some time where folks have been alone or have been just across a screen from each other. And so we are really, really focused on relationships. And relationships are the foundation of it all. And so until we have those, it's hard to get elsewhere, right? I can't remember exactly what the quote is or who said it, but about they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And so that's really what we're trying to do here. And that's where I hope that we're excelling at with professional development as a school district, as a state, as a nation, whatever.
And we're going to kick off the conference with the conversation of partnerships, building those partnerships. Eric, one of the ways you do that is you're very connected on Twitter, right? You're a connected educator. Is that how do, being so rural, how do the principals stay connected and combat that feeling of isolation?
Andrew, it's hard, right? Because I'll talk to some folks and like Twitter, that's something that no. I pick up the phone and that's okay, right? That's okay. But if you're not connected, like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I just don't know how you do it anymore. Where's your support system, right? And so that's, yes. One of the things I absolutely, I pick up the phone. Absolutely, I email. But Twitter has been a lifeline for me. It has got me through some tough situations. It's given me some ideas that I would have never thought about. It's connected me with some people that I would never dream of being connected with. And it's been a godsend. Twitter is top notch.
It really is. And it's a great tool, whether you're in a big city, around, because you can reach so many people. So I do recommend that for sure. Eric, you're also a busy guy. You have a big family. You're involved with the conference here. You're leading in multiple levels.
Mm.
How do you find balance in your life with your wife, with your kids, their schedules, the driving, these far distances? How do you balance it all?
Really good question. I need to get better at it. And I have an advantage. Like I live on campus. So, and my wife teaches here. All my kids, my 4 kids go here. So I get to see my kids in the classroom. So yeah, I have that advantage, and that's not something I've had prior to all that. For all my teaching career, it was hard, and it's something I got to get better at. But I'll tell you what, Sundays, from 6 a.m. or whenever my 7-year-old is getting up and waking me up, right, to about 4 p.m. Like that's family time. Um, I do some work Sunday night to get ready for the week, and that's what I have to do to make it all work. But that time right there is our time. And then I'll tell you what, I bring my kids to ball games. I bring my kids to school stuff. Like it wouldn't surprise me if because my kid got out here 28 minutes ago. 3 of my 4 got out 28 minutes. They might bust in on this. That's just part of the family and how we make it work. My wife's coaching volleyball over here, and so they might be in her volleyball practice. I don't know, but it's just the rural environment often is a community family environment. We take care of each other, right? If my kids are being naughty, like they know, like, oh no, 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 and we just have those agreements here. And if someone else's kids are being naughty, we're gonna have a conversation. So it's something I got to get better at, Andrew, but it sure has helped being here on the same campus. So not great advice for anybody, like bring them in, get your wife hired, whatever it is, but it's something that we've made work here, and we're always striving to do to get better.
Yeah, it is hard, and I give you kudos for saying, hey, I need to get better at it, because it's always a work in progress. I only have 3. You add a 4th there, it's a game changer. But just trying to balance it all, right? Including a professional life outside of work. It is a balance. My motto is to try to enjoy the ride, right? They're going to be grown up. They're going to be.
Yep.
My daughter's a freshman now. I told my wife, I said, she's only got 3 more seasons of volleyball, and that's it. Like,
right.
Unless she plays in college, so enjoy it. Yeah, cool. Speaking of Sunday mornings, Eric, your son joined us on the book writing seminar last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you jumped on there, and it was 6:30 a.m. on a
Yeah.
Saturday for you. But you showed up there. Is that something that you're looking to dip your toe in? I know you have a chapter coming out in Rick Jetter's book here. But is that a project that you're looking to do to write?
Yeah, like so I dove into my doctorate. I've done everything. I'm actually on chapter 2 of my work, which was, I think I last engaged in that a year and a half ago. Life just got a hold of me, and again, that balance, right? Just made that decision to discontinue for now. I've had several conversations with various folks about it. Yes. And I think the concept that is most grasping me is connectivity, especially in the rural environment, right? It's just like, how can we support these folks? I wish I had my thesis in front of me, right? And I could give you these stats, but the majority of our nation is rural, right? And the majority of our school districts are rural. We need to support these folks, and we need to support each other. And so that's something that I'm pretty passionate about, and hence Wide Open Spaces. Has it grabbed a hold of me and helped me write a book yet? No. Again, that balance, I just haven't done that yet. And you gave some great strategies, by the way, for us to do that. And when I get there, if that's the top we're going to roll with, we'll see. But yeah, we'll see. Yes. Just not yet.
Yeah. Well, I love it, and I think you should. I think people need to hear that voice, Eric. And I just booked after our meeting. I just booked a few more nights at that place that I go to write to create that separation. Right? You're in the mix. You're in your school. The kids are there.
Right.
It's hard. You got to find that separation. So if you're a school leader trying to find balance, like Eric and I, that's the one thing I would say, Eric. Carve that time out for yourself
Game on.
to do that deep work. Yeah, because I would love to see you do that, and because you are an energetic school leader here, and I'm looking forward to reading your chapter in Jetter's book there.
Game on, let's do it.
The school leader, right? 101 things to stop doing there. Is 101 or 100?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's 100, but if that special chapter comes through, I don't think he would be out of bounds going 101.
Well, that's our friend Rick Jetter in Buffalo, and I wish you the best with that. Eric, you mentioned your principal, right? Here you're in a principal role, and you called your principal for advice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who were some mentors that were influential in your life, going from a teacher to a principal? But who were some mentors, and what were some things they helped you with?
Ain't no doubt about, like, my principal was in my building today. He's taken on a different role in our region, and he's doing some career technical education support with our wood shop, our welding program, and some of that. So I met with him this morning for about an hour. Nice. And unfortunately, like, he tells my current students that when I was a student, some of the things, and so, but he's been pretty good about it. But still fun to have him here today. Learned a ton from him. My current superintendent is awesome, and we have co-roles, and we do the virtual school as well as this school together. We are a tag team. It is awesome. His strengths, my strengths are way different, and our weaknesses, and so we're a team, and it's been awesome that way. I've learned a ton from various coaches that I've got to see, and they're teaching. Coaching is teaching, right? And so I've learned a ton from a lot of great coaches. Rick Jetter, Rebecca Cota, Amanda Mayu, all those three individuals at Pushing Boundaries have helped me out with various philosophies. And I'll tell you what, a good book can be a great mentor too. And there's so many good books out there right now just to gain some ideas from. I have to say this name, Dr. Kevin Feldman in the San Francisco area is a top-notch individual around teaching practices and improving school, right? He talks about there's only a couple ways to improve schools, right? You're going to get a bunch of new students, or you're going to improve teaching, right? And like we're not going to replace 500 students, right? That's who's coming through the door, and no, it's about improving teaching and improving our practices. And Dr. Kevin Feldman is a massive mentor in our practices in our schools. And so I don't have enough toes and fingers for all the people that have influenced me to count them. Everybody, every day. It's just about listening to everybody, listening to kids. Kids influence me every day. Everybody, you, sir, your text, your book, this one right here got to me. See a little prop right here. Hey, no, everybody, every day, it's about gaining something from everybody. Everybody's got something to say. We just need to open our ears and listen.
I love the growth mindset, Eric. I love your energy, and good for you. We'll have to reach out to Dr. Kevin Feldman.
You should. He's a man on fire. You think I got energy? That guy. Woo!
I love it. Eric, what was something that you wanted to talk about that I didn't ask you about?
Andrew, I think you touched on the majority of it. One of my key things, and I know it's kind of cliche. We talk about student voice, teacher voice, but for real, one of the things that I say, and I say it a lot. People make fun of me a little bit, but I'm like, listen, no, like really listen, like stop thinking about what you're going to say next. Stop right. No. Just sit and just listen. And everybody is saying something so important. And like we just need to drop everything, slow down a little bit, and listen to our students in our schools. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what do they want? What do they need? Right? Like have you asked them? Have you asked your teachers what they want, what they need? Are you getting into their classrooms and asking them what's going down? And that stuff right there has changed my life. I worked with the Quality Institute, Russ Quality, Lisa Landy a little bit, and some of their concepts really, really changed me, and about just listening but asking those questions that need to be asked. Like, well, hey, how's lunch? Hey, we want Taco Tuesday. That right there, that changed kids' lives, man. They were like, tacos every Tuesday, like that made them so happy. Or hey, we want better toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff, right? Those are little wins. Those are little wins for school leaders that will gain traction for you for some tough conversations you might have to have later. Anyway, we just got to listen more. So that's just something that I try to preach and teach, and important stuff.
I agree, Eric. And if you're watching live and you're listening, certainly jump in the program or leave us a comment. Eric, we have the conference coming up this weekend, Wide Open Spaces, Bend, Oregon. Honored to be part of it. Dr. Jill Siller, coming from Texas as well. What would be a few words that you would want people to hear who are coming to the conference, the mentors that are coming? What would be some few words that you would say about this coming weekend?
I keep it super brief, right? Like folks know that when we dive in and we're talking about kids and we're talking about teachers, like we're talking about stuff that matters. This stuff matters, right? Kids' education, kids' well-being, teacher well-being. Like what I tell kids and what I'll do when I meet with our mentors first, as soon as we're done with that conversation and folks are coming in, like it's game on. Like it is game on. And every single day, every single minute that we are in school, we got to teach like our hair is on fire. Like it's that important. It is game on. Every second matters with these kids, and with our teachers supporting those kids. And so that's like I say that a ton. Our graduation speech 2 years ago, our valedictorian, and as Mr. Nichols would say, game on, right?
Game on.
It is game on, right? Here we go. Game on.
Well, I'm happy to be in the game with you. Looking forward to it. Let's get game on with rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
These are quick questions, Eric. Because first thing that comes to your head, are you ready?
Ready.
You mentioned reading. Last book you read?
Robin Jackson's Stop Building, Start Lead. Hold up. Stop Leading, Start Building.
Last movie you saw?
I rewatched the end of this. I was flipping through the channels. The Natural, bam, the lights exploded. I had to. Yeah.
When I walk down the street, I want people to say, "There goes Roy Hobbs."
Right, Roy Hobbs.
That's my favorite. I love it. I
love the lights.
Favorite place to travel?
Oh, so I went to Hawaii 3 years ago. Great spot, but I'm going to tell you right now. Love political science, love history, Washington, D.C., Civil War battlefields. That just gets me right here.
Wow. Okay. I'm looking for a chaperone for the D.C. trip.
Sign me up.
We're on a bus. Nichols is coming from Oregon. What's a podcast? We talked about being connected. What's a podcast you subscribe to in addition to Education Leadership Beyond, of course?
Right. You know what? I'm a fantasy football guy, so I do a little bit of that. But Silas Knowles and Pushing Boundaries has had 76 different great leaders on so far. It's an awesome one. Check it out.
Nice. You mentioned a lot of challenges in your work. What would you say is the greatest challenge in your work?
Tough stories, man. There's a lot of tough stories, and there's some that hit you right here. And when you got that 7-year-old and you know what's happened to them, you can't not take some of that stuff home. And you just got to go hug your kids and do whatever you need to do, but support our kids. So those are tough.
And along those lines, what's your go-to stress reliever, Eric? This is a marathon we're on here. We got to keep running. We got to keep leading. How do you relieve your stress?
I coach a little basketball. So that's my game, but I also try to get out. No cell phone service, which out here in rural Oregon, there's quite a bit of no cell phone service in some cases. I try to get out and do some walking and me and the birds.
I like it. On 8 a.m. Saturday morning, I feel fill in the blank.
I'm probably jazzed up a little bit because I'm on cup of coffee number 5, and I'm ready to go for if it may be college game day, or I'm ready to go with whatever me and the fam are doing, or I'm getting ready to go for whatever sporting event is here at our high school.
Best purchase under $100 that has had a great impact on your life.
Too many books to list.
Something about Eric Nichols that people don't know about.
So I was hit by a drunk driver in the year 2000, 1967 Ford F-150. Fractured my neck, traumatic brain injury. My short-term memory's been affected. So I talk to folks a little bit about drinking and driving, making good decisions and whatnot, but also about overcoming obstacles in our lives. My short-term memory has definitely been impacted, but we can overcome just about anything.
Wow. Amen, my friend. Eric, you mentioned some things you're doing now. What are some long-term goals you have, 3 to 5 years?
I just want to keep helping people. That's my number one goal right now, serving others. What happens, happens. One of my favorite quotes ever, good things happen to good people. I don't know who said it, but I love it. And we're going to keep serving others and keep trying to help individuals, keep helping kids.
I love it. How can people get in touch with you, Eric?
I am Eric Nichols at gmail.com, or I am Eric Nichols on Twitter. Eric Nichols was taken, so I am before that.
This is Eric Nichols. We are going to be in Bend, Oregon. To all of the Oregon leaders that we're going to meet, we're excited to be part of it. I'm looking forward to sharing the surviving and thriving message, but also learning from you and becoming part of that support system. Eric, that's great. I appreciate you, and this was a lot of fun. I'm glad we would get through the hurdles.
Yeah, we're all right. Love being here. Thank you.
Cool. You stay on the line a second, Eric. We're going to get that music that you were going here. I am at Andrew Murata 21 on Twitter. I do want to thank today's sponsor again, And Collar. That discount code is Murata10. Plug that in there. It's great stuff. Eric, we're going to get you some of that gear as well. There you go, the school leader, surviving and thriving. Signing off here on Education, Leadership, and Beyond. I got to raise the volume up. Let's get it. There we go.